Hello, welcome to Citizen Tarot. Today we're going to look at this book, Infinity in Your Pocket. I'm going to pick a random page and just read from it and then connect that back to what we have to say, what the reading has to say. So I'm just going to randomly... Okay, so there's a random fact in here having to do with the parts and properties of a circle. The fact says, while painting the Sistine Chapel, Michelangelo was approached by the Pope and had a conversation developed during which the two men debated the nature of artistic talent. When asked by the Pope for a demonstration of his legendary abilities, Michelangelo took a hold of a piece of paper, picked up a pencil, and freehand drew a perfect circle. What? Really? That's one of those things that's like, when I think about it, it is like hard to believe. It's like, oh, that I guess that's like kind of really cool. Like, how do you do that? But also I'm like, it's just a circle. But if it's a perfect circle, I don't know. So that's interesting. I'm gonna do one more from this little book. Look, we have more shapes. And there are lots of different kinds of things in mathematics in this book, so I don't know. Let's see. Oh, that's cool. Curves and circles. Okay, so... Oh my god. A horrifying death for a mathematician I just learned about. But this is interesting because it shows you can see this cone and like how different circles create like what is it called again? Hyperbola and parabola, and a circle and ellipse. Like there's a circle and it's just like level, and then it's an ellipse if it's kind of like off a little bit. So the shape changes depending on how the section or the angle of the shape you're taking. That makes sense. If you have a circle, it's a circle if it's laying horizontally on a cone, right? But if you turn it this way, then it's an ellipse. The shape changes, which I think is really interesting. So both of those, interestingly enough, were about circles. Let's get into the reading. I'm gonna start us off with an overall energy. Oh, this one just fell out. So the mountain. I'm gonna do one more because, you know, overall mountain, overall energy for this message. Anima Mundi. Cool, I like that. So the mountain and Anima Mundi. So that's the overall energy. We'll get into that in a second. No, let's get into this now, actually. So with the mountain, I mean, oftentimes you automatically think of like scaling a mountain, hiking, climbing, a sense of something to defeat or conquer. Strenuous activity, you know, it's a giant task. Okay, and then you have this Anima Mundi card thrown in there. So maybe this giant task has to do with making sense of a lot of things that seem not really connected. Anima Mundi has to do with, I mean, it's like I don't remember what it's saying in Latin. I can find out really quick, but what I pick up from it is you have all these different energies and all these different pieces and parts happening in life, and you don't really realize that they're connected and part of your journey in scaling this mountain. And maybe you do, but you just don't know how to put those pieces together yet or make sense of them. Anyway, I want to see what the actual Anima Mundi means. The soul of the world, all that is. Anima Mundi epitomizes the principle that accept all, reject none, right? So it's taking in all this information. Okay. Great. So we're going to get into this actual tarot. I'm new to this, so I'm just figuring all this out for fun. And for fun. Research purposes of my own. I think that tarot is a really great tool to get to know yourself better and understand yourself and your situation. It's a way to self-therapize. Okay, give us some information on this message, please. Okay, so we have Queen of Swords popping out in reverse. 10 of Wands. 3 of Swords. Oh, and the Tower in reverse. Okay. Some of these I might consult this little booklet still with the cards to try to get a clearer picture, because I'm still learning tarot, but intuitively I want to look into this. So the Queen of Swords is someone who is really, really sharp-minded and able to think on her feet, really witty, but in reverse it might be, you know, perhaps it's being in one's head and being overly critical of oneself, right? With the 10 of Wands, it seems that there's a lot of stress and pressure. It goes back maybe to this idea, you know, of this scaling this mountain. You've got all these parts and pieces, and you're just carrying these parts and pieces that kind of seem burdensome even. You don't know what you're carrying them to or for, but you have all these wands, these sticks, this material meant to do something, or, you know, it's putting a load on your shoulders. Maybe you know what you're carrying these wands to, and maybe you don't quite know yet. Regardless, it's giving you this energy, and you're keeping on. But you have this 3 of Swords in there, which is heartbreak. With the Tower in reverse, to me, that seems like an inward, internal sort of tower moment. I want to know more about the Tower in reverse since I'm learning about that. Tower, 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 tower. Good gravy. I'm just gonna oh, here we go. Yeah, Tower in reverse. Do not resist change. Even if you see this change is unwanted, it is important to let it run its course. The change is serving an important purpose and creating the opportunity for deep transformation. Okay, so deep transformation is happening for you, and it says not to resist it. Perhaps this Queen of Wands is this resistance and this inner critic, but like mostly just being up in your head about it and kind of maybe blaming yourself even on some level for these things. I want to know more about the 3 of Swords. We got the 4 of Cups reverse. I'm going to do one more for that. More of this 3 of Swords. Okay, and the 2 of Wands reverse. There's a lot of reversals on here. 4 of Cups reversed. Let's get into it. While I'm learning about all these things, you're learning with me. So 4 of Cups reversed, at least in this booklet, says, you are withdrawn from your external environment, feeling uninspired, disillusioned, or disappointed. Refocus on what inspires you. And this 2 of Wands, reversal. You have an idea, but you lack a clear plan and have little energy to move it forward. Go back to your original idea and the energy enthusiasm you initially felt. Let that guide you to the next step. Okay. I feel like I want to pull from this deck. Oh, it's right here. Tell us more about this energy, please. So the yellowing. Oh, that's interesting. That almost looks like, I don't think I really was seeing that. Maybe it was intentional, but the snake's head on this almost looked like a skull, like a human skull. I know that this deck talks about this card being like a sort of ripening type period, or overly ripening. That makes sense. I think, it's compared to the season of fall where everything starts to yellow or turn gold as it's, reached its peak, and it's starting to like get ready to come back down and die off in a sense, and to regenerate again for the next year. So the yellowing is a ripening, sort of a harvest type energy. Tell us more. And the Two of Cups reverse, this seems like has a lot to do with the heartbreak that perhaps was overdue. Some kind of event has happened that caused a major upset in your life, caused this Tower moment and this Three of Swords heartbreak. And those are really hard to get through. Heartbreak is such a strange thing, because it's like I feel like everyone deals with it, but no one really. It's like you're a baby in the universe each time almost. I mean, I don't know, maybe you get better at it. I think maybe in some ways I have, in the few experiences that I have, but it's still like every time it's like you're sort of a baby as far as like coming to understand the world more and like trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Got the Page of Wands in reverse. I want to know about that. Oh, I'm doing this on the floor and I don't know why. It seemed right, but my hips are jacked. Okay, let's see. Page of Wands reversed. You can feel stirrings of something new emerging within you, but don't know how to turn it into action. You may be on an intense spiritual path, preferring to keep this journey private, personal, and intimate. Okay, so I want to know more about that. What is this idea? What are these thoughts? Okay, so you have the medallion. Oh, the medallion. Put this on that Page of Swords. And the thread. Okay. So the thread is kind of, it's an energy of like, ooh, that's interesting. With the Anima Mundi in there, you have a sense that all of these parts and pieces, maybe that has contributed to this heartbreak, whatever it is. Maybe it's a lesson you feel you're trying to learn in order to overcome the situation, or understand why something happened. Or maybe it's trying to figure out how to maybe even fix the situation. Actually, can we know? Are we fixing this? Oh, okay. So we have the Ten of Swords that fell out. And the Knight of Wands, which is, why are they all in reverse? Let me see. The Knight of Wands. You may be acting impulsively, trying to accomplish everything at once. This may work in the short term, but long term you could end up burning yourself out or not achieving your goals. You need to constructively channel this buildup of energy. Oh, interesting. And the Ten of Swords. Oh, Ten of Swords is pain. It's betrayal. You are resisting change and painful endings because you do not want to face up to what is really happening. It's time to rip off the bandage and get this over with so you can start fresh. Are you trying to kind of walk back something hard? Are you trying to undo, in a sense, what has been done? Maybe someone's broke your heart. And you're carrying all of these parts and pieces. If you can do something to change their mind or fix the situation, as if it's in your hands and it's on you to scale this mountain and fix it, even though you're the one that's in heartbreak and I'm getting don't deserve it, right? Whatever happened was this betrayal. And you're taking on this inner critic energy of like, oh, maybe they even told you, like, you're not, doing enough of this, or this isn't enough for me, you're not enough for me in this way, and you've become this inner critic of yourself. Like, even if you try to tell yourself, like, none of that's true and it's not on me, there's still part of you that has absorbed that, or you've totally absorbed that and you're fighting for this connection that it really just wants to be done. And that's so hard. I've been there. I want to read about what this medallion says. Where's medallion? Medallion. I suck at Roman numerals. It would be so easy probably to just look it up and figure it out once and for all, but I just haven't yet. Okay. The medallion, the amulet, the talisman, and the heirloom. A passing of a sacred object is an ancient ritual within families, between lovers, and in tribes across the globe. We gift jewels, treasures, keepsakes, and mementos of all kinds, some of great material value, others that hold emotional resonance, and still others with both. Yet when these gifts are bestowed upon us, it is important to recognize that they may bind us to an unspoken agreement or promise. When the medallion card appears, be aware of just how the objects you hold dear may be embedded with the unconscious energy or expectations. Materials hold consciousness. This is interesting. Maybe either you're trying to use material things to maybe win back somebody's heart, or they're using material things to convince you that they're sorry and they really want to fix the situation. I also kind of get more that maybe you have these things and all these memories, right? These memories are less physical medallions, more, but they're just as impactful, right? You could just kind of hold something almost in your hand, in a sense, in your brain, that's like you're not letting go of this thought or this idea, this memory. But maybe you have a bunch of things around you that remind you of this connection and remind you of certain memories of times when things were good and wanting to get back to that. Let me see. You got the 8 of Cups. Man, and I know that I just need to look that up. I need to just get these all down. Let's see. 8 of Cups. It looks like you're taking a journey. It's time to walk away from a disappointing situation or relationship. You want it to work, but alas, it hasn't. The only option is to move on with your life, which is something that you really probably don't want to hear, right? It's hard to hear those things, because something that once gave us a sense of identity, something that gave us something to latch onto, to feel treasured by, is now rejecting us. There's nothing really we can do to change. I'm just getting that it's not something, by putting energy into it and by putting more of yourself into the situation, you're harming yourself. And there needs to be a moment of turning to self-love, which is really, really, really hard to switch from I'm taking care of another, loving another, that's part of my identity at this time, or for however long that's gone on, to being like, I'm taking care of me now, the same way that I want this person to take care of me, or wanted this person, or would want anyone to take care of me, right? Stop being this inner critic. And if it was something that this person had told you, blamed you for, maybe, okay, on one hand, it's worth considering, right? It's worth considering what people are saying always. Firstly, to see if it's true, to be introspective and go in and be like, is this true about me? Am I really affecting these people in these ways? And once you really, really do that, you have to genuinely decide, and not out of, in a place of neutrality, not out of Queen of Swords reverse energy and the inner critic energy, but really objectively to say, to interesting. Thinking back about that parabola thing that we talked about at the beginning of, in this book, with the circle sitting horizontally in a cone, we saw it was a circle, right? And maybe you see yourself as a circle, and you're rounded and you're well-rounded, right? You've got it worked out. And maybe from another person's perspective, you're crooked this way. And sometimes that's just the way it goes, right? They see us differently than we see ourselves and understand ourselves to be, based on our environment and the way we've grown up, and all these factors involved. The same thing looks different from different shifts of perspective. And perhaps this person is seeing and telling you, you are an oval, whatever it was, an ellipse. And you're like, no, I'm a circle. I thought I was a circle. But this person still sees the ellipse, right? Because they're standing from a different perspective, totally. And you can't get them to see the circle that you see. In that case, it ends up being a mismatch of needs, right? A mismatch of thinking, of ideals, of life perspectives or values, whatever it may be. And it's not that anything you've done is inherently wrong. It's just that the needs don't match up, that perspectives don't match up the way that they need to. I just want to know if this person's been fair to you. I'm going to say, the Fool is what I drew. And I like the Fool holding a flower and this loyal little dog following behind. Let me elaborate. Where are we going? The King of Pentacles. This is someone who knows their worth. This is where we're going with the Fool. This is someone of material value, someone who knows their worth, but that worth came from knowing it on the inside, right? And I like this card in that the grapes on his necklace and on his staff are also surrounding him and in his environment. So he's found an environment that matches what's in his heart. But it's only by knowing what's in his heart that it allowed him to really find this environment that matched, that allowed him to thrive and grow. Any more from this deck? Got the Ace of Wands reversed. And I had another card fall out. Ace of Cups. Cool. Let's see. Six of Wands reversed. You can feel an idea emerging but are uncertain what form it will take or how you will manifest it in the world. You may keep your idea private for now until you have more confidence in taking it forward. Excuse me. And then we have the Ace of Cups. You are filled with happiness, joy, and bliss. Creative opportunities are abundant. There may be new love, friendships, or even art projects available to you now. So it's saying a lot about, with this heartbreak and dealing with it. Perhaps it'll be really, really helpful to channel that energy. There's a yellowing of energy, right? There's probably a lot of emotion associated with this, and to channel that into whatever creative projects or ideas that you have to move forward. And once you start doing that, your focus will shift from this heartbreak and from this and this. It's like really rough, and will take you to this, I want to know I want to know what the overall, oh gosh, what's wrong with me? The general energy, projected energy. What happens if you do channel your energy in these ways on creative projects? Oh, you have the King. Abundance, material abundance, mental abundance, confidence, power over oneself. The Maiden and the River. Oh, I really like this. The Maiden represents someone who's really innocent, but in tune with their very wands sort of energy, passion, and curiosity, and creativity, sensuality. And the River is totally, it just has to do with emotions flowing, right? Channel those emotions and those hard things into these projects and the things that you like. You have all these parts and pieces of things that you love about life that light you up. And when you start focusing on them and follow what is the thread between them, you'll find what lights you up. Overall outcome, likely outcome. Oh. Likely outcome. Okay. Oh, the healer. You'll find healing, perhaps even become the healer through the work that you do from whatever emotions this spurs, whatever action this spurs you into. Ooh. And the Siren, I kind of like that. Male, female, whatever you identify yourself as. The Siren energy is really interesting because it's sort of mystery, a sort of like, yeah, mystery that's like really, really enchanting. That's also a sense of confidence, right? That really is just magnetic and draws people to magical kind of like attraction that comes with this like healer energy of being the healer, the maiden, the king. Okay. And I'm going to do 3 action cards to leave you off on, so that you might be able to have some ideas as to how to get started. How do we get started? We got Luna with the moon. How do we take action to get started on healing? Synchronicity. Action on healing. Oh yeah. Mars. And actually I'm feeling drawn to do this one on the top. Venus. This is great. Both of these. Okay, cool. Both of these planets have to do with love. They're like love planets, right? And really there are more planets involved with like love planets. But these are the two, I guess people would say main or like most well known. Venus has to do with beauty and like seeking beauty and just loving another person, enjoying, right? And Mars is very like do it and passion and fire and sexual energy and like it's doing power, right? So both of these together in here with the moon and synchronicity is really interesting. I like that we drew both of those. The moon represents the hidden or mysterious. Maybe it's worth diving into your own mind more about how you're feeling or expressing whatever it is, bringing those pieces of mystery out into light through whatever creative activity it is that you're doing. And the way that you're going to know how to do this is by watching for synchronicities happening around you in your life. For instance, I just learned about a type of seaweed today, like just from a random article I saw while scrolling that I'd never heard of before, and then I listened to this random thing today that mentioned that seaweed. It was really, really strange. But those are what we talk about, like with synchronicities and stuff. And maybe the synchronicity, this is something that might be helpful. Maybe the synchronicity is something that has to do not just with what's happening around you at like the thing itself, right? Like seaweed. Maybe I should go actually look up the meaning, or maybe I will. But yeah, maybe it's not the thing itself, the synchronicity itself, but the thoughts that you've been having around the time that you're having those synchronicities. If you're having a lot of ideas and thoughts and you keep seeing synchronicities that are like, what are the chances that would happen? It's like, pay attention to what you've been thinking about and other things that have been filling your brain. I'm actually going to Google to leave this off. Seaweed. Give me a moment. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Seaweed. Spiritual meaning. What does seaweed symbolize? Seaweeds are considered carriers of good luck and abundance. Okay, generally, symbols associated with the sea can relate to unconscious or deeper aspects of the self. Seaweed is a plant that grows underwater and can suggest what is growing below the surface of the unconscious. So maybe that has to do with you too. Definitely, because it looks like you've been having a lot of thoughts and ideas and you're looking to channel those into something. Interesting. I really love that. Yes, duh, because bodies of water represent emotion and yeah, what's growing under the surface. Worth maybe diving into and exploring. But anyway, that's that reading. And I guess going back to close this off at the very end, going back to the idea of that circle and the parabola. Remember, there's nothing inherently wrong with a parabola. And I mean, with an ellipse or an oval. Obviously, an oval is just an oval, and a circle is just a circle. It's just a shift of perspective. And sometimes you can't change the way that someone is seeing you. There's just no way to. The only solution is to move forward and find someone who, if whatever shape they see you, it's a fit, it's a match. And to stop being this. Stop it. Anyway, that's all. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and bye.